The thing that Mother has provided is what I like to call a safe place to fall. No matter what was going on in their life, she was there to listen.
She's always provided that safe place for everybody in her family. Her heart has just built this love structure across our entire family.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my mom, and
she's my mom too.
That's true. But I wanted to talk about our mom and her early life.
Well, I was the youngest girl in the family. I had a sister, Florence, and another sister was born, and it was Nelda. Mm-hmm. And then I came along, and that was all my mother could bear, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. She did not have a happy marital life, so we finally wound up with no men, no husband anyway. And my mother went to work in a cotton mill to provide for us. Mm-hmm. We never really had a father to be with us. That's where we got started.
Tell me about your mom. What'd you learn from her? What's one thing?
Honesty, first of all, and it's to do good everywhere that you go.
Aunt Joby is our great aunt, and she means the world to us. We just love her to death, and the thing we remember the most is coming down for Christmas and our two families being together, and it felt like we didn't even skip a beat when we came down every Christmas and saw them. And so we love you, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Aunt Joby is my great aunt, and she's been there through everything. She was there at every Christmas, every holiday that we ever had, and we lived in Michigan growing up, so coming down to see the family was just wonderful. She is the most incredible, the most generous, and the most kind individual. And happy 90th birthday, Aunt Joby. You're very special to all of us.
I have always admired her. Coming from the background that she came from, they were dirt poor during the Depression. She didn't have her store-bought dress was like when she was in high school, went to Montgomery to get that. Her mother sewed all her clothes, my grandmother. But in particular, Mom, the thing about her is she was so smart and so gifted and so popular. And yet, if you talk to her, she's so humble about her background.
In college, she wrote that 8 or 10 page paper that talked about how she felt during high school, and really how becoming the homecoming queen really kind of vindicated her sense of self-worth and value as a person amongst her crowd.
Were you the homecoming queen?
Yes, of course.
Of course. You were very popular, weren't you?
Yes, I did have a lot of friends and that always stood by me, and we worked together. And we had great teachers, which I still just can't believe that we had it back then. But we had a great time in that high school.
How about a few years later when you enrolled in Auburn? I bet your mother was really proud because you were the third child to go off to college.
Yes.
In college, you know, she was popular. She met our father at the fraternity house.
The fraternity guy came to the sorority house and said, okay, anybody who wants to, we were having a big party.
Oh, and that's how you got on with Pi Kappa Phi. Weren't you the Rose of Pi Kappa Phi? The boys in the fraternity voted you as their sweetheart, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
What amazed me more than that, in addition to the fact that she was smart and did great in school there, was in 1953, after she graduated, she went back and got her master's degree. And women did not.
No, that's unheard of.
Just people. And when I look at the program there was only like 20 people getting their master's degree back then, you know, and most of them weren't women.
Mm-mm.
And I got a master's degree because I saw teaching was going to be my profession. And so I loved teaching so much. And the children, all the children, even all the young.
The middle school.
Middle school is awful. All the kids are so rowdy and everything like that. And I said, well, you know, I don't care. I like them.
Then I think what really distinguished her, and where we were really fortunate, was how much she loved children and kids. Yeah. What if we'd had a mother that hated children? That would have been like Hansel and Gretel or something. That would have been awful.
And I think a lot of that could have stemmed from her mom, because how her mom took care of the nursery at the church, you know, for years.
Yeah, they named the nursery.
I know. So I think that instilled in her, you know, just a love for children.
What does Nan call you?
All different kinds of names. Chase, Chasey Bear, Chasey. She's funny, and also she's my family.
What else did you like to do with Nan?
I like to play with her. I do like playing bingo with her. Happy birthday, Nan.
All right, anyway, I'm going to say a little blessing. If everybody just bow your head. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the celebration, for the life of our matriarch, who we've all known for years. She is a wonderful, wonderful lady, and we appreciate the amount of time we've had with her and the love she's given us. Thank you for life in all its fullness. Forgive us of our sins. Guide us in all we do. Amen.
Amen.
Joanne is a very unique person in my life. Most guys wouldn't think their mother-in-law was anything special, but Joanne is a very, very special person. The first thing that comes to my mind about Joanne is she's so even-keeled. She has a great sense of humor, and it's just a pleasure to be around her every day.
We fast forward, and you started your career, and you lived with your sister for a while, Florence, and she had 3 children. Mm-hmm. So you helped take care of those babies for a little bit, didn't you?
Wayne and Debbie and Wayne. Yeah. And they were always, I put them to bed every night. I got a job teaching first grade.
You were at the same school over 30 years,
yes.
Fort Caroline Middle School. In 1960, we lived in San Marco. Catherine's Court, which is now a very prestigious place, but back then we were poor. We didn't have any money. Mom did most of the child rearing in our family. Mm-hmm. Daddy kind of, being our stepfather, he kind of took a step back. He had his 3 children to worry about as well.
Yep, John, Tommy, and Marilyn.
My name is Tommy. Nan is my stepmom. I have many good memories of her growing up over the years. She always gave me good advice. Some of it I listened to, some of it I probably didn't. I'm just glad to be here to celebrate this special time with her.
To describe her in one word, I'd say inquisitive. She's always had a curiosity. She's fulfilled a lot of that by always reading and just always wanting to know more, and it's always been a pleasure and a godsend to be into the adopted family.
But he loved us.
He did.
He took good care of us.
For the children of our mother, we just had a great childhood.
We did.
She was fun, she was happy, she was kind, always supported in anything that we wanted to do.
A little spanked occasionally.
Yeah, and remember she would use that BB bat? She
Yes.
would take the ball off with the
We'd
elastic.
break it, and then she'd use it for a paddle,
And
which we learned don't get those anymore. I think it hurt her more to spank us than it hurt us. What do you think?
Well, it was like she wasn't serious about it. She would say, "This is going to hurt me," kapow, and she would laugh.
Yeah. And what about when I was, I was just such a calm child. I never really was very demanding, right?
This little girl here kind of grew up then wanting to have her own way in everything.
You had a few moments in which you would tend to be dramatic.
I would. Tell about me, and I got mad at y'all one time, right?
Well, you got mad at us at a lot of times. We would be sitting there watching TV, and you would want something, and we wouldn't pay attention to you because we were tired.
I was apparently upset with something. I wasn't getting my way, and I stormed into my bedroom. I was in the 4th grade, and so I was probably 9 or 10.
She got mad. She was interrupting us.
And I stormed into my bedroom, and Mom and Dad were sitting on the couch watching TV, and I slammed the door.
She got mad because we didn't jump up, down, and do what she said.
But I always, as my daddy said, had to have the last word.
Absolutely.
So I opened the door back up, and I yelled at, "I need to go see a psychiatrist." Like that, and then I slammed the door again.
And you slammed the door, and we didn't move and do anything about it. We just looked at each other, and we would say.
And Mother and Dad said they looked at each other and said, "I think we're the ones that need to go see the psychiatrist," and they just laughed at me. And so anytime I would, act up,
Carry on.
Say, "You still need to see that psychiatrist." So.
Anyway, she was always the one who was bright and determined to get her way. Stephen Michael was a studious person, and
What did I like to do?
you like to read the big old encyclopedias, and he would go in and we had to buy encyclopedias.
Your library sent you a note and told you that you were one of their most prolific readers, right?
Yeah, I always tried to keep a book handy at home and to read, and I wanted my children to read, and they do. So.
I must tell you, she wasn't much of a disciplinarian, but at times it would really, bring things to bear. Like for one example, I remember I was very young, maybe 5 or 6 years old or something like that, and you were there in the kitchen as well, and I think she was making us dinner.
I was cooking something, and Steve got mad because he could not have a Coke.
You, of course, took a Coke, and I wanted a Coke first, but then I decided, and so she gave me a Coke, and I said, "No, I don't want that. I think I want a Sprite now." So she set that one aside, poured a Sprite and gave it to me. He said, no, I don't want that. I want a Coke. I want a Coke. So she put this Pepsi or the Sprite aside, and he gave me the Coke, and no, I don't want that. So I said, well, you're not going to get anything. And then that set me off.
And he was standing up against the wall in the kitchen, and he just fell down on his knees, and
my back was against the wall, and I just slid back down there and just sat there like this and was just pouting, just a terrible pout.
I told him to get up, and he started wah, 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 yeah, wah, 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 and all that stuff, and giving me all these things.
So she just walked over and she just dumped that Coke or Sprite right on top of my head.
I know.
I poured it on his head. and he stopped.
Well, I stopped crying.
I know, it shocked you.
It shocked me.
And he was looking at me like, how dare you? And I just let him sit there until I said, well, okay, get up now. You got to take a bath now.
And I've never been the same since.
I know. She was actually a pretty good sport when we were growing up, and we really got to do a lot of what we wanted to do.
That's right.
And we were
supported
lucky.
us.
We were very lucky in that our mother, people liked her.
Yes.
Our friends liked her.
Yes.
Everybody enjoyed her.
Everybody
and
wanted to come over.
Our family liked her. She's been the matriarch of our family for most of our life, pretty much.
I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? Talking about
My mother, Florence, and Joanne were sisters, and they were also best friends for all of their life. Through all of these years, she has always been interested in us and all of her children and all of her extended family. She has been absolutely a role model in terms of being a wonderful person and so generous to everybody.
It's extraordinary to see a family as close as this. Joby, happy 90th birthday. I hope you have 100 more, and enjoy your beautiful family. They're really lovely, and you've nurtured every one of them.
One word for Aunt Joby is she's giving. She's a very giving person. I guess the other thing is mom, because she became our mom after our real mom died. So she means a lot to us.
So when I think of Aunt Joby, she has always been there for us. Aunt Joby, I would call her more of the soul of the family. She pulled people together. She always made sure that people were having fun, and you always knew she would be there. I cherish her every day. She's the best aunt you could have. I love you, Aunt Joby.
And then we started having kids.
And that kind of changed the dynamic a little bit.
We didn't get any of the attention anymore.
And it was all about the kids.
I know. What was it like to become a grandmother for you?
Oh, I was so excited. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do, jumping up and down.
Our kids grew up loving her as much as we did.
Oh gosh, yeah. They loved going over to her house. The thing about our mom is how much fun she is, and how
she plays.
She plays with them, and he thinks of all these games.
My two boys were at my house, and my car was in the garage, and so they wanted to wash the car.
In the garage.
And they opened the garage door, and they got the hose, and they were washing my car in the garage, in the garage. They didn't move it out. And so everything in the garage then was water. They just messed it up, everything. And then they came running up to the kitchen door where I was cooking, and they say, "Nan, look what we did." They opened the door with a hose, and it went right through the kitchen and hit me real good. And so I thought, well, I said, I'm glad I don't have to pay you.
Well, you can't get mad at Parker. No.
Well, I would have. So they got away with murder, and the girls were cute growing up together. She always had them dressed cute, and she was a great grandma. She is a great grandmother.
Absolutely. My mom has influenced a whole generation of what she calls all of her people. So your daughter Whitney, my daughter Lauren, and sons Parker and Matthew, they, all four of them, just adore our mother.
What's one word I would use to describe Nan? Word keeps popping into my mind is wonderful, and I can just keep going on and on.
When I think of my grandmother, I think of my person, because she has always been my person.
And now if you want to talk about like why she's your person, maybe just a little bit if you're comfortable with that.
She knows. She and I don't need to talk about that kind of stuff. She knows.
One word I have to describe her with is supportive. Everything you can ever want, you can ever always go to for her, and she's literally the most supportive person I've ever experienced in my whole life. She's always nice to go and talk to. She doesn't judge you for literally anything. You can go to her whatever you want. Yeah, she's literally just the best human being I've ever met in my whole life. Literally can't describe her any better than that.
If I had to choose a word to describe Nan, it would be kindness. I've never seen anyone exude quite as much warmth as Nan does. She's the reason why we all have such a good relationship with one another. She's the reason why we all love each other as much as we do, and it's because she sets that example for us. You know, we're all a family because of her and because of her love.
Above all, my mother expects us to get along, to love one another, to show grace.
Be nice.
Be nice.
That's probably one of my biggest life learnings from her, was just really the value of having a good life and being a good person. That's what she taught us.
Yeah.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joanne. Happy birthday to
I could never have had as much love as these people have given me. And I don't know how much I can give back to them, but I try. And that's the way I roll, yes, I do.
So, Mom, we just wanted to tell you how much we love you and respect you and admire you and thank you for all that you've done for us, all the sacrifices that you've made. We appreciate you, and we love you.
We love you very much. Thank you for everything that you've done for Lee and I and our children, the safe home you have, the advice, the fun, the enjoy life that you instilled us with, and above all, be a good person, an honest person, someone that other people like, and be happy.
Mm-hmm. We want you to know how much we care about you, which I think you already know, because you're pretty spoiled.
You should know that already by now.
But you're pretty spoiled. But we just want you to continue to live your best life, and know that all your people,
all my people,
all your people feel this way about you. We celebrate you.
You are so loved.
As you turn 90, and all we've got to say is that's just the way we roll.
That's the way we roll.
As a family.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. That's the way we roll.
favorite singer?
Willie Nelson.
And why do you like him?
Because
why?
Because I like to sing the song everywhere I go.
Do you care that he's been in trouble with the law?
I can't help it. I'm just going to go along with him and help him because maybe he'll be blessed.
What's your favorite song?
Someone they love.